Israel braced for Iran's response following the assassination of the Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran. 300 days of agony for the families of the hostages who are marching today in Tel Aviv demanding a deal to free their loved ones. And Sudan's ruling general rules out attending peace talks following a failed attempt on his life. Hello and welcome. You're watching Middle East Now on I24 News. How will Iran respond? That's the thought preoccupying many here in Israel today after the assassinations of the Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran and the senior Hezbollah leader Fuad Shukr in Beirut. The Islamic Republic last attacked Israel directly in April when it sent hundreds of missiles which were intercepted by Israel and its allies in the region. But as our Joe Brown now reports, that might be trickier this time around.
In the space of 6 hours on Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, two high-profile assassinations were carried out, which will reshape the Israel-Hamas war and the Middle East as a whole. First, the IDF strike on Beirut that killed senior Hezbollah commander Fuad Shukr, and the alleged Israeli strike in Tehran that eliminated Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh. And a common theme is being uttered by Iran and its proxies.
The commander-in-chief of the IRGC has announced that the Iranian response is definitely coming. Therefore, the Israelis will receive the appropriate response to this terrorist operation.
This is a crime committed against a guest of the Islamic Republic. Its perpetrator, the Israeli occupation, must pay the price.
And in a televised address following the assassination of Fuad Shukr, Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah did not hold back on his threats towards Israel.
Today, I don't want to make speeches. I will be good with one sentence. This enemy and those who support him await our response, which will come for sure, God willing. There is no question there will be a response. The coming days, the coming nights, and the ground will prove it.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Abdallah. Well, Iran's Ayatollah Khamenei presided today over a funeral for the late Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran. His body has now been flown to Qatar, where he lived for many years. Joe Brown has more.
Kol Kalev Bijyamu, an Israeli phrase meaning every dog has its day, which has become a slogan to describe how everyone involved in the October 7th attacks will meet their maker. A day after his assassination in Tehran, thousands poured into the streets of the Iranian capital for the funeral procession of Hamas's political chief, Ismail Haniyeh.
Well, I do think that with Democrats, we will likely see a continuation of the Obama-Biden doctrine, which is what we see now: more Iran integration, more accommodation of its proxies, especially as we've seen with the Israel-Lebanon maritime deal, and we will see a sort of continuation. However, with the Republicans, I think with Trump, especially in his maximum pressure campaign, we will see a more I'd say a hawkish position on Iran.
Next, 300 days of pure agony. The families of the 115 hostages still being held in Gaza are marching today to demand a deal now. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now it is 300 days since Hamas terrorists invaded southern Israel, murdering, raping, burning and hostage-taking. That's 300 days of pure agony for the families of the people still being held in Gaza, 300 days of suffering for Palestinian civilians, and 300 days of selfless sacrifice by the thousands of IDF troops. Our Bianca Zanini examines this difficult landmark.
Day 300 of the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza began with the funeral of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh in Iran. In Israel, protesters blocked morning traffic, demanding a ceasefire and a hostage deal now.
Well, Ismail Haniyeh is not the only Hamas official who has been sent to the end of his days. Today, 3 weeks on, the IDF confirmed that Mohammed Deif, the commander of Hamas's military wing, was killed in an airstrike in the south of Gaza last month. He was one of the architects of the October 7th massacre. More in this report.
Now it's official. Hamas's top military commander and one of the masterminds behind the October 7th attacks, Mohammed Deif, is dead. The IDF and Shin Bet announced on Thursday that the July 13th airstrike on the head of Hamas's military wing in his southern Gaza hideout was successful, based on latest intelligence assessments. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said that the death confirmation of Deif, who he dubbed as Gaza's bin Laden, was a big step towards eradicating Hamas.
After we eliminated Hezbollah's chief of staff Sayed Mohsen on Tuesday, today came the final confirmation of the assassination of Hamas chief of staff Mohammed Deif.
Sudan's military leader says he will not attend peace talks in Switzerland next week after he survived an assassination attempt. General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan was targeted in a drone attack at a military base in Sudan but escaped unharmed. The war between the Sudanese forces and the RSF militia has claimed tens of thousands of lives in Sudan and displaced some 10 million. We can take a listen to the general speaking now.
As long as those people are staying, our battle will carry on and our war will go on. We tell you that you have came at a time when Sudan is exposed to a conspiracy, a very big conspiracy, and we with you are capable of ending this conspiracy. We will destroy this enemy. We'll destroy them tonight, tomorrow, after tomorrow. We will do it and end them.
The United States has reached a plea deal with alleged 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. The deal means he and two other defendants who are accused of plotting the 2001 terrorist attacks will be spared the death penalty. More in this report.
The 9/11 attacks are an open wound in American society, and this week they scored another headline. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, considered to be the mastermind behind the attacks, along with Walid Mohammed Saleh Mubarak bin Atash and Mustafa Ahmed Adam al-Hawsawi, who assisted them, have pleaded guilty to all the accusations presented by the Office of Military Commissions in a trial that was dragged for over 15 years. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, also known as KSM, was a high-ranking al-Qaeda terrorist with years of experience prior to the Twin Tower attacks. He was the mastermind behind Operation Bojinka, which aimed to explode airplanes mid-air en route from Asia to the US. The plan was uncovered in 1995 after a test killed a Japanese national aboard a Philippine Airlines flight. Defeated, he wandered around the Arab world to gain more connections, settling in Afghanistan to become leader of al-Qaeda's media committee. His experience with airplane terror attacks was appreciated by al-Qaeda's leader, Osama bin Laden.
And the archaeologists have solved a 150-year-old mystery about the size and borders of biblical Jerusalem. They've found a massive moat that was used to protect the ancient Jewish kings. Our Bianca Zanini reports.
The ancient city of Jerusalem has pulled believers from the world's largest religions. It has fascinated historians, archaeologists, and curious tourists. And it has been a flashpoint for wealth and conflict for centuries. The city holds the answers to mysteries of the past. And this month, archaeologists answered a century-and-a-half-old question, discovering a massive moat used to fortify and protect the kings of biblical-era Jerusalem.
For more than 150 years, archaeologists are seeking a northern fortification line of Jerusalem, something that will explain the size of Jerusalem during ancient time.
And it's at the excavation of the Givati parking lot in the City of David National Park where researchers believe they found the answer in the form of a massive fortification moat, more than 30 meters or 100 feet wide, 9 meters or 30 feet deep, and at least 70 meters or 230 feet long.